Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm exploring Medellín, Colombia, which is now one of the most vibrant and exciting places to visit. Let's dive into everything Medellín has to offer.
You can see it from the front, wait till you see it from the back. Back till you see it back till you see it back.
My family and I went on this trip to Medellín for my grandma's birthday. We flew from Florida to Medellín, which was a 3.5-hour flight, and we had an hour-long layover in Panama. When we finally landed in the Medellín airport, which is also called Jose Maria Cordova International Airport, we stopped at Starbucks because I wanted to see what their Starbucks was like. It was actually pretty decent, but it's not better than the US, in my opinion. We all got chestnut praline lattes. Then we made our way downstairs, and this is what it looks like in the pickup area, but we didn't have anyone to pick us up, so we took an Uber. Our Uber driver was pretty nice, but he didn't speak any English. But surprisingly, the Ubers are very cheap in Colombia. I believe this Uber from the airport to our Airbnb cost like $10, and the Airbnb was like almost an hour away from the airport, so that's really good. We were able to see so many parts of Medellín on the drive to our Airbnb. Then we finally made it. It was like pretty secluded, but it was really nice. It wasn't in the El Poblado area, but it was so nice still, like a hidden gem. The Airbnb had 3 bedrooms, very nice views. Like, you could see everything from this Airbnb, and I feel like it was in a perfect area. If you don't want to be in the tourist area, it really feels like you're living in Colombia in this Airbnb. Everything was so up to date. We had very nice bathroom, very nice kitchen, very nice living room. Like, I would literally stay there again, and it was so cheap. You would not believe how much we paid for this Airbnb. We could even see the cable cars in the distance from the outside of the Airbnb, but that's not something I had a chance to do on this particular trip to Medellín, but I'm definitely going to do it on my next trip. And then afterwards, we all walked outside the Airbnb just to get familiar with the area. And then we ended up finding this really cute restaurant that was near us, and we ended up eating there every single morning. The name of the restaurant was Movi Pan. It was walking distance from our Airbnb, and it was such a great price. We had to keep eating there every day. I'm finally ready. We're getting ready to go to the restaurant called Tulum. It took me a long time to get ready with this outfit. I didn't buy any new outfits for this trip. I also wore this really cute clear jewelry that I bought from Shein, and these gold sandals that I've been having for like ever. Then that's my grandma. We headed downstairs toward our Uber. The Uber drive was really short. It was about maybe like 15 minutes or so, because the restaurant was located in the El Poblado district and we were staying a little bit outside of that. But like I said, the Ubers are super cheap. It was no problem to take an Uber there. Then when we finally arrived, there was a security guard outside, and you have to give him your name, have your name on a list, because you have to make a deposit in order to get your name on the list to eat at that restaurant. It's very exclusive, very high-end. When we walked inside, it looked so nice. It really did feel like you were in Tulum, Mexico. It's very scenic. We went here for my grandma's birthday. The whole trip was for my grandma's birthday, but this was like one of her birthday restaurants. We also ate very good food at this restaurant. One of the highlights was their drinks. They have really good drinks, and it seemed like everyone was there for a birthday. If you want to see more about this restaurant, I put it in my Rating the Different Restaurants in Medellín YouTube video. I'll include a link in here so that you can learn more about all of the different restaurants we ate at on this trip. I'm getting ready to go out to brunch at Cafe Noir and also to the Parque La Conservación, which is their zoo, and then we're gonna do a food tour after. I'm still wearing my nightgown, but I have my orange shorts under, and that is my outfit right here. I'm caught between, should I bring the GoPro or should I bring this camera? I think I should bring the GoPro because I brought this camera yesterday, and the GoPro is easier to use and I need them to record me, but then it's like, this one looks so good for pictures and stuff. So I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out now because the Uber is 2 minutes away. So I will see y'all later. So I decided to wear this outfit, and I did bring the GoPro. I think the GoPro is good for vlogging. The other camera, somebody else has to hold it, or you can't see yourself. I don't know where we are right now, but we're going to brunch at this place that I was talking about. would not believe our Uber driver just dropped us off at some hotel called Celis, which was not where Cafe Noir was. So we had to ask a cop from outside the building to help us figure out where Cafe Noir was. We walked around for an entire hour before we were able to finally find the restaurant. But when we did get there, they had some amazing food, and I speak all about it in my rating the different restaurants in Medellin video. I will tag it right here. And then we made our way. Now we are at the Santa Fe Mall. Just look at how big this mall is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories. It is a lot. I'm gonna see what I can find. I hope I find good stuff. The Christmas tree in New York. They're putting New York to shame. In Colombia, it's pretty normal to bring your dog with you to the mall and just attach them to something outside of the store while you go shop. Everyone in this mall walks around with their dog. So right now, he's walking us to Zara because he knows the mall more than we do. My mom left us and we're trying to find her. We waited in the grocery store for her and she never came. The whole time she's in Zara. After we found my mom in Zara, we made our way toward the food court. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's so scenic in this mall. It's unbelievable. I tried their McDonald's and I had a really good Milo McFlurry. Then I went in this store, tried on some clothes, headed back to the Airbnb, got this food for $3. My little brother and my grandma were playing Jenga, and then we wrapped it up and called it a night. The next day, we did a tour of Guatapé. I'll show you what it looks like now. This is what Nathaniel is wearing. He wanted you guys to see. I don't know what part of town we're in now. There were so many stops along the way of this tour. We stopped and got some fresh strawberries and cream. We headed over to little small towns along the way. We tried tree tomatoes, and then we actually stopped at Guatapé Mountain. That is my grandma. My little brother, my mom, and I hiked up all of those steps all the way to the top. It took us about an hour, but we had to make it back onto the bus so that we didn't get left. The hike up this mountain was just so beautiful and so scenic, but it was very strenuous and it took a lot of physical strength. My mom was lagging behind us. We ended up leaving her and she caught back up to us after. Then we actually made it over to the town of Guatapé, right outside of the mountain. We hopped on this 2-story chartered boat with about 100 other people that were also on the tour with us. This boat was pretty fun, but I'm not gonna lie, it was chillier than I thought. I did not know Colombia could get that cold. It was at least like 50 degrees on that boat and I was freezing. Then we made our way off of the boat and we actually headed into the city part of the town. The tour people only gave us about an hour and a half to explore the town, so we had to use our time wisely before it was time to meet back at the designated area. So we headed to this bar called El Bacanal, got some drinks. I also included that in my restaurant video. We sat in the El Bacanal restaurant for a good 20 minutes or so, then made our way outside. We found someone outside of the restaurant after walking around a little bit to drive us around in a tuk-tuk. They took us to all the different cute sites within the city to take really nice pictures. And then it was time for the tour to be over. We drove an hour and a half back to Medellin, and once we arrived back in the city, we got some tacos at this little place which is now closed, unfortunately. After we ate at the little taco place, which was called Taco Tigre, we headed over to this rooftop. Medellin is known for its really nice rooftops. It literally lit up in the nighttime. It looks so nice. I think it looks better at night than it does in the daytime. Then we called it a night, and the next day we headed over to Comuna 13. Day 4, I believe. We're going to eat breakfast right now. Before we stopped at Comuna 13, we headed over to this little restaurant that has since closed. And when we first arrived at Comuna 13, we were a little bit lost on where we should meet our tour guides, so some people directed us over to where to meet them. We had to wait for a good 30 minutes or so because they split our tour group into about 5 different groups with 5 different tour guides. The tour guide that we had, his name was Esteban. He was really nice. He sat down with us and gave us like a verbal tour and history and background of Comuna 13. Then he took us to his grandma's house and got everyone popsicles. Then we did graffiti on his house. Then we made our way down the basketball court, which is something that they're very well known and famous for. trying different street food was a part of our tour, so we did that, and then he had us go inside of a gift shop. We also walked by the very famous steps of this community, and then when the tour was over, he sent everyone home with a chocolate bar, which I thought was really nice. And unfortunately, my grandma bust her shoe on this tour. Then later that night, we made our way over to a restaurant called Mama Negra. I am not gonna lie, this restaurant highly disappointed me. I don't know what people on the internet is talking about. It was not that good. They barely even let me record when I was in that restaurant, and I speak all about it in my restaurant video, which I will tag below. After we ate here, we called it a night, and the next day we went looking for fajas.
This is my outfit. We're about to go looking for fajas.
I wore something pretty basic because I might have had to try on some of the fajas when we were in the stores, and I brought my big green purse as usual.
Second to last day, I'm gonna miss the view from right outside my room.
First, we stopped and got some breakfast, and we headed across the street to take some really cute pictures.
This is where I wanted the pictures to be. I'll show you what it looks like. Right now, we're gonna meet back up with my mom to go look for fajas, and I'm gonna make a faja video about looking for fajas in Colombia. Yeah, so whenever we find the faja place, and I really have to preserve my battery because it doesn't have that much left, and I didn't bring the charger. And Nathaniel fiended and cried for these glasses like a crybaby. He lost the last ones he cried for, and then he got this one. So now I think we're gonna walk back to the place, and then we're gonna see how that goes. I just really wish I had a better camera taker to take pictures of me, because it seems like I take everybody's pictures good and nobody takes my pictures good. That's how I feel.
I took pictures good today.
Yeah, right.
We arrived to the marketplace to find the fajas. There were many different vendors inside this particular mall, so it took us quite some time to find everybody, but we did eat some street food along the way because it was so good, couldn't resist. Then we headed over to another mall for my little brother to look for stuff for him until we figured out everything in that mall was fake, so thank God we ain't buying nothing in there. Then we went over to their famous museum. I had such a blast. If you know me, you know I love museums. Museums are so great for pictures and just learning the history, and I love history. That's why my major is political science.
Go to floor 3 because they said it's best to start from the 3rd floor and then make your way back down. So that's it.
There are 3 different floors in this particular museum, and it was recommended to us that we start at the top floor and make our way down to the bottom.
They told us we can't take pictures on the 3rd floor, so I have to put the camera away for now, but I'll show you guys the 1st and the 2nd floor because they said we could take pictures there.
This is what the view looks like from the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor was all about an artist named Botero. Since they were so strict on recording because these portraits are flash sensitive, I was only able to get 2 short videos on this floor. Then we made our way downstairs to floor number 2. Every single floor of this museum had a different theme and purpose, and I believe the theme of the 2nd floor was all about wars. Because if you look at every painting, it depicts the wars in a different way, wars across the entire world. And I think this was one of my favorite floors. It was very creative how they depicted it in their own light. This by far was one of my most favorite painting. It's like the person was literally stepping outside of the canvas. I don't know how much more creative it can get. They even had a section dedicated to voodoo and witchcraft, and you know I stayed away from that floor. I don't want nothing to do with that. I stayed away from there. That thing was spooking me out. I did not go over there. I do not play with spirits. That thing was very scary. They had real artifacts, and I'm not playing. Then we headed over to the mall. Our ride to the mall was so crazy. The Uber driver was literally falling asleep while he was driving. Like, thank God we made it there safe. We got some ice cream, and then we went, and the next day it was Nana's actual birthday. We ate at our same restaurant we was eating at every day, and we headed over to the beach.
We're not going to the beach. We tricked you.
Wow.
You knew that already?
No, you told me that we were going to a spa today. And all the way here I'm saying, well, I guess we're going to the pool beach because of her. It's her birthday.
When did I tell you we were going to the spa?
You had asked me if...
We tricked my grandma into thinking that we were going to the beach for her birthday, even though there's no beach in Medellín. We were actually surprising her with a spa day. This spa was so cutesy. We probably stayed there for about 2 or 3 hours. Our massage session was only about an hour long. It was really nice. The rooms were so nice. They escorted us upstairs to where everything was. Then we had to go in a changing room. But before you head over to the changing room, you have to walk past the sauna and the jacuzzis, and then they ask you a list of questions like what type of oil do you use, what are you allergic to, and then you finally get started with the spa process. You start off by putting all your belongings into a locker. They give everyone robes to wear while you're there. These robes are so short. We're about to go get massages. They're getting hot stone. I'm getting bamboo. They also give you these disposable flip-flops to wear during your services. Then you have one of the nurse ladies walk you upstairs to get your massage done. And while we were upstairs, my mom and my little brother went into one room. Their room was pretty basic, I'm not gonna lie. For the place, it was simple. Then me and my grandma's room was absolutely jaw-dropping. It looked like we were literally in the middle of a jungle. Like, I don't know. And they knew it was my grandma's birthday, so I feel like that's why they gave us an extra nice room. That was really good. Now we're going in the sauna. After the spa, we went in the pool and it was time to go. This is what another room inside the spa looks like. That's what I look like after I was done with my massage. Then we headed back to our Airbnb to change, and it was time to head over to La Chagra for dinner. This restaurant absolutely blew me away. It is rainforest themed, and all of their produce comes directly from the Amazon rainforest. It was so good. I would rate this restaurant a 10 out of 10. You can hear all about it in my Rating the Restaurants video in Medellín. I can't get over this restaurant. It was literally one of the best ever. Like, you should try it if you go to Medellín. No lie. This was our last day in Medellín. We headed over to El Poblado to a restaurant called Repeat, which is a cafe that is open like during the early hours of the morning. We headed over to eat here for breakfast because we had an afternoon flight. Did I like this restaurant? Not necessarily. Did I not like the restaurant? Not necessarily. It didn't blow me away. But after this, we checked out of our Airbnb. It was time to go and head to the airport. And we had to finish packing and then drag all of these bags down 5 flights of stairs. Our Airbnb was so high up, it was like such a struggle to bring our bags up and down because there's no elevator. So good luck, because there weren't many elevators in Colombia. And then we made our way to the airports and we headed back home. This will conclude the end of my Medellín vlog. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time in the next video.
If I wrote you a symphony just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do? If I told you you were beautiful, would you dare?